When you learn to kitesurf, your introduction to the true power of the kite will be using it to drag you downwind. It's also a great way to build some confidence after your lessons, or if you're now kiting with different equipment or at a new location. In the early days of learning, never be afraid to go back and do some body dragging at the beginning of a session to get used to the conditions and the kite's speed and power. Body dragging is also essential, as there will always be times, no matter how good you become, when you need to body drag to recover the board or return to the beach in difficult conditions. So in this chapter of Progression Kiteboarding Beginner, we'll first introduce you to body drags downwind, before moving on to show you some tips to help body drag upwind and recover your board. Body dragging downwind is a great way to really feel the power a kite can deliver. With no board to get in the way, you can experiment with flying the kite through different parts of the power zone and see how it affects the pull you receive. You'll be lying in the water on your stomach so that you can skim along with little resistance. If you're going out to practice body dragging, you will want to make sure the wind is either cross-shore or cross-onshore. You will also need to start a safe distance offshore. So walk out into the water with the kite at 11 o'clock. Lay forward into the water and let the kite pull you. And pilot the kite down the edge of the window. Once you are positioned offshore, bring the kite up to 12 o'clock. The downwind body drag is performed hooked into the chicken loop. And you'll need the bar sheeted in enough so the kite is responsive to turn, but not overly powerful. Our first experience is flying the kite in a figure of 8 motion across the whole wind window. We can start with small turns at the top of the window. And as we get more confident, increase the size of the turns until the kite is further down in the power zone and pulling us harder. You will get the biggest pull as the kite completes its turn and flies across the middle of the wind window. Place your hands at the ends of the bar. Lay forward in the water. And pull with one of your arms to pilot the kite down into the power zone. At the bottom of the turn, pull the opposite side of the bar to turn the kite back up and across the power zone, over to the other side of the wind window. When the kite comes over to the other side of the wind window, we once again pull with the other side of the bar to redirect the kite over to the other side of the wind window. As you can see, these pulls on each side of the bar are relatively small and controlled. Start small and work your way up to harder pulls and bigger kite movements as you get more confident. Once you are happy with this, you can take a step towards the upwind body drag. To do this, you are going to fly the kite on just one side of the wind window, so the kite pulls you more towards that side of the window. As you can see, this figure of 8 motion is at a different angle, and this is more like the movement we use in the upwind body drag and when kiting on a board. The bar actions are very similar to before, and you will find that if you are steering the kite correctly down the side of the wind window, you will get a more constant pull from the kite, rather than the massive pull, gentle pull, massive pull, gentle pull of the previous straight downwind body drag. As soon as you are out on the water with your board, you're going to have plenty of times when you crash or simply lose hold of your board, and that normally results in you being downwind of the board. So being able to drag back upwind will become a necessity. The key to upwind body dragging is going slowly. Big movements of the kite into the power zone will simply send you off downwind. In the water, with the kite at 12 o'clock, pilot the kite quickly down the side of the wind window. As you do this, lay your body out in the water, perpendicular to the wind. You must use your body's shape as resistance against the kite to drive yourself upwind. Fly the kite using your upper hand. And stretch out your other arm in the water, pointing it upwind. If you have hold of your board, you can use it to cause resistance and help you drive upwind. Hold on to the front foot strap or handle and brace the board along your free arm. Using the board like this can help you understand how your body position affects your ability to body drag upwind. If the wind is strong enough, you'll be able to leave the kite at the edge of the window at 10 to 11 o'clock. But in lighter winds, use slow, gentle movements of the kite, close to the edge of the wind window to keep power. Also try and keep the kite sheeted in to keep the kite powered and stable. To make ground upwind, you'll need to zigzag back and forth, and there are two areas you need to consider to make this happen. The first is when you want to stop and change direction. Bring the kite up slowly to stop yourself getting dragged downwind. Put all your weight back against the kite and kick with your legs to hold your position. The second is the length of your runs, back and forth. If you make small runs, you will most likely make no ground upwind, as every time you change direction, you'll lose the upwind ground you just made. So make longer runs than you think are necessary. Even if it means going too far upwind and overshooting the board. And if you really can't make it back upwind and you're close enough to the shore, then body drag in walk upwind and then body drag back out to your board.